Yeah, you already know what it is. It's Uncle Bocow, and I'm here, I think. And today we're going to be talking about topping hot pepper plants or pruning hot pepper plants, any kind of pepper plant. But man, we're talking about hot peppers right here. This is a beautiful boot orange Copenhagen right here. And why would you top your hot peppers? Well, there's multiple reasons. Let's see example A. Example A. The plant is just out of control. It's growing way too wide. By the way, this plant has never had any fertilizer, so I don't want to hear all you negative Nancy's talking about you gave it too much nitrogen and it grew. No, it just grew like that. And it's I use really good lighting, so but this thing is so heavy. I mean, I put fans on it and try to strengthen but it's so heavy, and also if it's on a tray, it will cover up light from other plants. Just look at the canopy on that. It's insane. So if you have plants that are too wide and you don't feel like messing around with them and taking them off the tray and spreading them out and you're trying to harden them off or whatever, that is one example right there. Plant is way too wide. Then, example 2. The plant is too tall. Now, most people would agree that this is not too tall, but, it could be. It matters on what you're doing. If you're trying to, I don't know. I mean, I don't think you'd run out of space with most light setups, but whatever the case may be, we're just going to use this one for example, so don't yell at me about it. So your plant could be too wide. Plant could be too tall, and you need space, and you're trying to get that plant to be shorter and bushy. And another example is you want to top your plant because your wife burned it with a frying pan. No, true story, guys. That's actually yeah, that's true. Look at that. Yeah, Mrs. Bullcow did actually. This plant was too close to a cast iron skillet, and she got it real hot and left it on high for a very long time, and it burnt the plant. And so you want to try to do something to remedy it. Now, why not prune your plants? I'll tell you, for production. I did tests last year where I had non-topped versus topped pepper plants. I did not get any more production out of the top plants. Sorry to say. I did the experiment myself and I learned. Now, why would you? Okay, so too tall. Although this is not too tall, this say for instance you're trying to grow in a space where you have HOA or you have some kind of you live in some apartment or something. You're trying to have short shrubs, make them look neat. You're trying to make them. You don't want them to look. You don't want them to be 5 or 6 foot. Now this does happen, and it happens to me. I have plants all over the place, and some of those I have to have things that are short. I have to have things that are short and bushy and stocky, and I have them in decorative pots, and it makes it look really nice. So there's plenty of reasons why you would top. Number 2, let's say another reason, it strengthens the plant. So it's just, you won't have to stake them or anything like that. If you say for instance that, I don't know, that you just, you didn't put the fans on them that good. You were lame about it. You were like, oh man, you're really worried about this plant getting out there and that wind just hitting it and just knocking it all over the place. And you don't have to stake them. When you top them, they'll end up getting 2 or sometimes more main stalks that'll come up. And another reason is hardening off. So I've found that when you top the plants, so these are extras, but I have most of my plants are outside, okay? But I did have one that it got damaged, and so I'm going to replace it with this plant right here. And so basically, I am done playing around with hardening off and acclimating stuff. I'm just tired of it. So if I put this plant out there just like this, never seen sunlight, it would die. I mean, it would literally just, the leaves would fall off. The stalk is not thick enough to where I don't know. I don't know if the stem would even survive at this point. But if I top it, guess what? That new growth that comes in from these nodes would grow, it would grow up in the sunlight. And another reason is because second growth, the second growth that comes off of these pepper plants, the leaves are thicker and they're actually stronger than these things. Okay, so they can actually handle more UV rays. So there's some reasons why you would top. So let's go ahead and top this bad boy. I usually look for, they say 4 or 5 true leaves. So this is the catalones. These are fake leaves way down here. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fake leaves, real leaves. I'll go right here. Okay, you guys watching? So you see how much I'm topping off here. Use something really sharp like these. Bam. Now there it is. There's my beautiful topped plant. I'll leave these leaves on there, and if they begin to be a problem, I will. Actually, these won't be a problem. I'm throwing this thing outside in a day or two. I'm gonna let it stay inside for a few days to help these nodes will start growing new growth off of them. You can always trim more off too if you feel that this is too much. If you're like, you know what, I just want to get some more off of there. That right there is a good top plant. This is a good size for it. The thickness of the stalk is perfect. You don't want to top them when they're smaller than this. I've done it and I did not like the results. It took a long time for them to regenerate, and the plants were just not as strong. So this plant's going to be a monster. Okay, and so you can see the canopy here. I just murdered that plant. Yeah, I mean, that's like just so much right there. But don't worry, this thing will grow back. So you can also, if you guys want, you can clone this. So you can take this and just strip down the sides. I don't have any root hormone. I don't clone too much, but you always want to cut off get some of that raw meat showing right there. You dip this in root hormone and then you put it in a jar. So this part's underwater, and you can clone. Yeah. So let's go mess with this bad boy. This thing is so top heavy. Look at that. I mean, I put a fan on it, but at this point, these things should either, that size, you can usually up pot them or top them. All right, with this one, I'm gonna go right in here. Hope you guys can see that. All right, ready? Snip. Canopy removed. All that craziness going on. Look at that. Oh! Yeah, a lot of people have a problem with this. No. I've topped them right down to almost nothing. This big old leaf right there, you gotta go, buddy. Yep, we get him right out of there. Matter of fact, I'll take this big one off too. There we go. You don't need much. I do like to leave a few leaves on there because you're going to give these things some water. This is a caramel primatale. And this thing here, I don't know what to do with it. I'm going to strip it. I'm going to get rid of these leaves that are damaged. Like so. And this is a little bit smaller, guys. You got to be tricky. Now these, when they're, see how the stalk is thinner? Takes a little bit longer to regenerate. But will this plant survive? Yes, it will. Absolutely. That's a primatale. It's a red primatale. So that's it. This is how you top pepper plants. Prune pepper plants. I do have another primatale over here. This one's, we're just going to go up high with it. I'm not going as low. Boom. Okay. This one's already got some really nice new growth coming off. See that? So this one has got kind of a head start. Strip down some of that. Just right there. There you go. So we got 4 different top pepper plants. They're all similar in size, but not completely. This This one's the dominant one as far as the thickness of the stalk. That's real thick. And what I always do is after I top them, I give them a little bit of water. You don't got to go crazy, and leave them under the lights for a couple of days. And then I will maybe put them outside if I have the time. If I'm able to mess around with it, I'll put them outside. Actually, I'm going to put them outside tomorrow for maybe 20 minutes, half hour. They've never seen sunlight. I don't have to worry. Like I said, I don't have to worry too much about hardening these off. What'll happen is this. I'll put them out, and if I say I don't harden them off, I just put them. I'm putting about 15 minutes, half hour tomorrow, right? Then I'm working the next 2 days. I ain't got time to mess around with these. Actually, the next 3 days. So then the day after that, it's going to rain out. So really, I'm not going to be able to harden these off. Okay, so what I'll do is put them outside maybe Sunday, and just put them in the pot, their final destinations. What's going to happen is it's going to be all hot and just crazy sun. What's going to happen is these leaves are going to just burn off. They're just going to burn up. You're just going to see them turn grayish, white, brown, whatever, and they're going to fall off. And you're going to be like, oh man, my plant is dying. No, you are wrong, jabroni. Your plant isn't dying. These leaves are dying. But what you got is this. These nodes, these are all going to be new leaves right there coming in. And those will come in, and it'll be a little bit slow. It's a little bit slow at first, but all that new growth will come in. And then all of a sudden, you'll see a split somewhere. You're going to see where it goes. It V's up. You may see a double split. You may end up having 4 main stalks. Now, last year, there was plants, I did experiments where I double top them. Those really end up short and stocky, and they have so many branches coming off. What I noticed, though, with double topping is that the fruits seem to be smaller on them. I don't know. I don't know why, but they were, peppers. A lot of the peppers were this size. I mean, I had bigger ones, no doubt, but my non-topped plants or my single top plants were the ones that got the bigger fruit. So the double topped, it's almost like, I don't know if it's like you're bonsaiing them. And not all fruit was tiny. It's just that I noticed when I compared it. So there we go, guys. Topping hot pepper plants with Uncle Bull. I hope this was helpful. Comment below what your results have been with topping. We do know the fimming method. I didn't show you that because I don't care about it, and I suggest not doing it. I did not have good results with it, and it could just be me. I don't know. But last year I filmed some plants. I actually filmed a couple this year just because I just was, it's like, let me just check it out and see. And what I noticed with fimming, you're just taking that top canopy, squeezing the top leaves and cutting them off like in half. You're leaving some. What I noticed with fimming is I got a ton of new growth all over here, just bunches of it coming up. But it couldn't get the proper light, it seemed like, because you still had all the main canopy. And I had some issues when I grew those plants. They just didn't grow as good as the other ones. And I was like, wait a second. I said, this ain't cool. And I actually ended up, some of them, after I ended up topping them, after I filmed them, like 3-4 weeks later, I wasn't satisfied. So I topped them. Some of them, I stripped some of the growth off. And I realized after all that I did to try to fix them and correct them, that it was pointless to do the fimming. I know that fimming works for other plants good. And I know some people that do it with peppers, and they claim they like the results. I personally, so don't get offended. Personally, I didn't like the results of fimming as much as topping at all. But like I said, you want to have stronger plants. The base is going to be stronger, so you don't have to stake. They'll be a little bit shorter. They'll still grow big if you're only single topping them. They'll just get a V split on them. But they'll be more bushy. They'll be stronger. And also, you don't have to harden them off as much because the second growth that comes in is stronger than this. This stuff is weak. You put this plant out in the sun, half an hour, these leaves will burn. And you know what? I got plants that I hardened off that for this season. I got plants that I hardened off for 9-10 days. And I put them out there, and you still get sunburnt leaves. you know, and so eventually those leaves will just fall off. Not too big of a deal, but I showed you guys videos on hardening off and all that stuff. We got hundreds of hours of instructional videos on plants, and you know, try to help you guys out and learn from you guys. A lot of you guys tell me your results, and it's very helpful. Thank you for watching. Uncle Bull Cow.